And breaking moments ago, President Donald Trump landing at Joint Base Andrews. He delivered remarks in Miami. We are told that he spoke with the press. As that gets fed into us, we will bring it to you momentarily. Now, the Department of Homeland Security has a message for illegal immigrants. Get out before you're deported. And anyone thinking of coming here illegally should think again. Take a look.
If you try to enter illegally, you will be caught. You will be removed, and you will never return. Follow the law, and you'll find opportunity. If you break it, you'll find consequences.
Now, the new ad campaign comes as the Department of Homeland Security is trying to figure out the source of leaks that have disrupted ICE enforcement operations around the country. The department is now warning that polygraph tests have been ordered to determine whether or not staff were involved in any of these leaks. And the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, joins us now with all the latest. Well, first things first, we know these leaks have occurred, correct? We're 100% sure of that.
Correct. Yes, we do have leaks that have occurred in the last couple of weeks that have jeopardized operations that we've had in different areas, different cities and towns, and they have put law enforcement officers and our agents at risk. So we won't tolerate it anymore, and we're going to use every tool that I have available to me to find out where they're coming from and make sure that those who have leaked will face consequences.
And you hit the key words. It's putting ICE agents' lives at risk because the element of surprise is now gone. Do you have suspicions where it's coming from? Because you did speak briefly in the past about that. By the way, the president has just arrived. He's leaving. He's departing Air Force One now.
I see that. I'm glad that he's back. But what I would say is that we are in a situation where, yes, I do have suspicions, but I need to be sure and I need to be certain. So we have different tools we can use, and one of those is ensuring that we're using polygraphs to look at all of our employees, all of our people involved in these operations, to make sure that they are telling the truth on what they have done in the past that may have jeopardized some of our operations. That the Department of Homeland Security is a national security agency. It's a law enforcement agency. So this is one of the authorities that I have, and I'm going to use it to make sure that we find those who have done this nefarious activity and that it will no longer be tolerated.
You know, a lot of people on the left and a lot of Democrats, they're scratching their head. They can't really figure out, well, what happened in November? How big a part that they lied about the economy, they lied about Joe's cognitive state, they protected the Biden syndicate, and then they lied about immigration repeatedly. Your predecessor telling the American people, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, the border is closed, the border is secure. I mean, it's such a spectacular lie. Did they think the American people didn't have eyes to see?
Yeah. Well, the people could see because it was changing in their communities right around them. And we watched families lose their children. We saw families like Lake and Riley's family that tragically lost a daughter that they'll never have in their lives again. They saw children that were trafficked, drugs that were killing our generation of kids. And it was all happening because of that open border. So the American people knew what was happening and saw it, and there was consequences for that. And now we have a president that puts America first and that has closed the border, has secured it, and is allowing us to deport people in record numbers. And we are deporting dangerous criminals. In fact, Sean, we're picking up people that have been raping children, have been trafficking children, and proliferating the use of drugs and going out there and, murdering and raping individuals, and we're getting them out of the country. Every day we're saving lives because of the work that we're doing. And so we're going to make sure that we do it and do it with integrity and continue to make sure that we're securing the homeland of the United States of America.
You know, the thing, Madam Secretary, that scares me the most is that I'm kind of
I thought you said Madam Secretary was scaring you.
No. And you did a great job as governor. I'm sure the people of South Dakota are proud of you, but also probably miss you. But the thing that scares me the most is, well, first of all, do we have an actual number of how many illegals were unvetted allowed in the country? Do we have any idea the number of known terrorists? We know we have terrorists. We know Biden and Harris admitted, around 15,000 murderers, and then we had about the same number of rapists and other violent criminals. We have cartel members, gang members. Do we know about how many, and how do we root out every single one of them? Because every one of them, to me, represents a threat to the homeland.
We have hundreds of thousands of criminals that were let illegally into this country. That means they have criminal records. They've perpetuated crimes in this country. They're members of gangs and cartels that have committed crimes around the world. And tomorrow is the day that we're going to be able to make sure that gangs and cartel members are foreign terrorist organizations, and it'll give us new authorities to go after them and get them out of the country. So this is not a small operation, Sean. This is an operation that we're going to have to work aggressively at for a period of time to make sure that we're getting all those dangerous individuals out of our country, and then go on to those who have overstayed and have final removal orders. We're going to go forward and make sure that our federal laws are upheld and that every single law is followed in this country. The Biden administration didn't do that. They didn't ensure that the American people were their #1 priority, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in today. So what keeps me up at night is the fact that until we get all of these dangerous individuals out of the country, I can't ensure that we won't have another family that loses a child because of these people that were let into the country by the Biden administration, that we have families that may still lose their kids and grandkids to fentanyl and to drugs because it's being trafficked over the border by the cartels that are partnering with the Chinese government to take out our next generation. They're weakening and destroying America from the inside, and it's my job as secretary to make sure that I'm stopping it and getting up every single day using every tool that I have to make sure that we're making America more safe.
Do we have a total number or around a total number? I've heard estimates, 10 million, 11 million, 14 million. Do we even know?
Well, you've heard the president talk about the fact that there are 20 million people in this country here illegally, but we literally do have hundreds of thousands of people that are criminal aliens. We have many, over thousands of them that are on the suspected or known terrorist watch list. We know that we have thousands of gang members, just TDA members. We're using Gitmo, as a detention center right now, and our Camp 5 and 6 are full of TDA members, entire gang members that we're getting out of this country and off of our streets. So these are individuals that are the worst of the worst from other countries that President Biden invited to come to America, and other countries sent them to us. We are now sending them back.
And by the way, currently the Department of Homeland Security, you do administer polygraphs during the hiring process for CBP officers, agents, for suitability for employment. This is overreach. This is too much. They're going to check if people. You already do that when they get hired, don't you?
Absolutely. And we're a national security agency. We're a law enforcement agency. We have the authority to do this, and we'll continue to do it. It'll be random. It'll be a process that we'll use to make sure that we're not going to allow these leaks anymore, and we'll be able to use it when we have suspected activities going on as well.
All right. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, we appreciate that update. Thanks for your time as always.